Morning, Rich.
Good morning, Gary. How are you?
Oh, pretty good.
That's good. That's good. I'm doing well. In light of Sunday's NFC Championship game, I think it was amazing that we were there
Yes.
as the sixth seed. And winning six in a row. I think it's like we talked about last week. They are each a game within themselves. Statistically, one has nothing to do with the other. So, other than just a simple trend. So, the way the Rams prepared for this game, I think they prepared very well. And I'm I'm just not sure about how we prepared or what we were trying to do. But anyway, let's get started. What do you think, Gary?
Well, I don't think it was their preparation, but their execution.
Yeah,
they won the trenches.
Yep. Absolutely.
I've watched a lot of Rams up to this. Each time we played them, I watched them, to try to get some insight. And their offensive line never played that well.
Yeah.
Never played that well.
Their offensive or their defensive line coach said Donald was like a whole nother person the entire week. He was just so dialed in and so focused. And he drug that defense with him. Von Miller also played really well. Those were big pickups. But you're right. And we talked about that last game, right? Whoever wins the trenches is going to win. They held us to 50 yards rushing. That's it, 50 yards. And in the previous two games that we won this year, we ran over 150 yards.
Yeah, they just stuffed that running game.
Yep. Didn't matter who had the ball. They were all over us. They played a better game. Though you could certainly make an argument that the Niners should have won that game going into the fourth quarter with a 17-7 lead, right? Pretty painful to fall apart at the end of the game like that.
I'm ready for a new NFL rule.
What's that?
That they can't pump crowd noise through the PA system.
Oh yeah.
There were some Rams fans that got a hold of the 49ers Cutback podcast, and they were on there, and they said that they were pumping so much crowd noise through the PA system, they had to get up and move.
Really?
It was giving them a headache.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, the Hawks have been doing that for a long time.
Yeah, well, they ought to do it to all of them. Just say,
Well, they should. I mean, I don't believe you've been to Levi yet, right, Gary?
No.
So I've been there a couple of times, and they sell it out, and it's just not that loud. And I think they need to do something themselves to pump up that crowd. You saw Stafford had to go with a silent count because the Niner fans were so loud.
And they weren't pumping the 49ers through the crowd through the PA system either.
No, they weren't. But, in those same types of situations at Levi, it's just not real loud. But the Levi crowd's a different crowd than Candlestick. I remember many times the Candlestick getting, making the offense either jump or making the opposing offense take a timeout because they couldn't hear. So yeah, that's a big deal. What else do you hear, Gary?
Well,
you watch a lot of podcasts.
That was basically the basic thing that really bothered me.
Yeah.
We could have won the game. We just had some dropped interceptions.
We had one huge dropped interception, right? But you know what? I'm not going to blame Tart because that guy had a really good season. He had a very, very good season. He turned around. There was the ball.
Well, there was quite a few little things like that the ball was not bouncing on our side this time.
No, it wasn't. And same on offense. I mean, Kittle, especially that. So Kittle was overthrown twice, but that second one, there was no one behind him, and he was about the 30-yard line.
Oh, Kittle was also hurt. Did you notice how much he was limping?
He was limping, but when somebody throws a pass 15 feet over your head, you're not gonna.
Well, he'd been able to get up and get those in the past.
Not those. Those passes were awful.
Yeah,
and I think that Jimmy was still hurt. I think they tried to hide it as much as they could. But if it was his thumb, you always hear and see the adage that a thumb injury is going to make the ball sail, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it did on those two. That there was a touchdown right there. The Tart interception, would have ended the game. So yeah, we missed some real big opportunities.
Well, the thing that bothered me going into this game is they activated, I call him Sudafed, but Sudfield.
Yeah.
And that bothered me.
Yeah.
When I saw them do that, I couldn't figure out why, if one of the two wasn't injured.
Yeah.
Enough that they were worried about it. There was no reason to do that.
Yeah. I read some of the Rams talking about Ambry Thomas, and they were talking about how they tried to stay away from him. I think he's going to be a spectacular player on defense moving down the road. So even the Rams acknowledged his play.
Anyway, I'm happy with the guys. They did an outstanding job this year. They just fell short. And going into the season, during training camp, if someone would have said, well, we're going to make it to the NFC divisional championship, we'd have been pretty happy with that.
You're frozen, Gary. There you go. Now you're
you were frozen too.
Oh, were we both? It's
my internet connection.
Okay.
So it's going to be what it's going to be.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway, I think that they did a fine job this year.
I would agree. Absolutely. And I think it's also very clear that we play in the toughest division in football. And I don't think it's even close. I mean, we had 3 teams come out of the division. And Seattle, after Wilson came back, they played big.
Yes.
He just got Stafford was nominated to the Pro Bowl, and of course, obviously, he's not going to go. But they replaced him with Wilson. So,
well, if you had your choice between Stafford and Wilson, who would you take?
I don't know. After watching the season, I mean, Wilson's 10-year Pro Bowl player. Stafford's never done anything, but he's never.
No, you can still get to Stafford and rile him, and it's real hard to rile Wilson.
It is, well, sure, because he rolls out. He rolls out on purpose. Everything they do is him moving around. And Lockett standing 40 yards downfield in the middle of the field with nobody around.
The only thing that I saw with Wilson was when he was injured, his passes were errant.
Yeah.
But pressure will not affect his passing, where it does with Stafford. We just didn't put enough pressure on him.
We didn't put hardly any pressure. We sacked him once. That was
And even when we
Close
did push
enough.
the lineman back, we didn't push him back far enough.
No.
Anyway,
Hey, I have the end of the season, the Niners start to give out
the awards.
awards, and I've got some of those awards.
Well, good.
Yeah. The last thing I wanted to say was Stafford, Cooper Kupp, and Odell Beckham destroyed the Niners. Stafford threw for 350 plus. I don't remember exactly what it was. Cooper Kupp had over 100 yards receiving. Odell Beckham had over 100 yards receiving.
Yeah.
When you got that going, there's no way you're going to win. So, and but a nice thing was there's a couple of injuries in the Pro Bowl, and Lakeland Thomas and Alec Mack were the replacements for the Pro Bowl. So we got 4 players in the Pro Bowl.
Might even watch the Pro Bowl this year. I usually don't watch that one.
Yeah, me neither. It's boring. But anyway, I have some end of season awards here. If I could share those real quick. So the Lynn Ashmont Award is the top award. I remember when it was the only award. Lynn Ashmont was a coach for us. He was a member of the 1946 coaching staff, and then he became a head coach several years later, and he died in 1957. And that year they awarded they created the award that year. But the Lynn Ashmont Award is voted on by the players, and it's the players who feel that this person not only was great with the community, but also the best player on the field. And Deebo Samuel won that award. So it's really great that Deebo won the Lynn Ashmont Award. It's coveted by the 49ers. So that was great. There's a Bill Walsh Award that started right after he died. Of course, Walsh was the head coach for 10 years. He had 102-63-1 record, which is amazing. He was named Coach of the Year twice. He was named Coach of the Decade for the 80s. And the Bill Walsh Award this year, voted by the coaching staff, was Nick Bosa. So the coaching staff awarded Nick Bosa that coveted award as well. So there's a Bob McKittrick Award. Do you remember Bob McKittrick? Do you know who Bob McKittrick was? So Bob McKittrick was their offensive coordinator for many, many years. He was hired by Walsh, and he stayed on through all those coaching changes. He was one thing that was the same. And I'll give you a little story about Bob McKittrick. When the Niners moved their practice facility to Santa Clara, I had customers right in that same neighborhood, and I'd be driving down the street, and here would come Bob McKittrick jogging down the street. And I would stop and say, "Hey, Bob, go Niners, blah, blah, blah." And he would stop and he would talk. He was just the nicest man in the world. And so the 49ers offensive linemen and their offensive coaches vote for this award. And Laken Tomlinson won the Bob McKittrick Award this year. So that was interesting, the trend. The Hazelton Ironman Award was named for famous 49er linebacker. Old fans would remember Matt Hazeltine. He played for 13 years for the Niners. He passed away in 1987 from ALS, and Bill Walsh established this award. And the winner was Aziz Al-Shair, my man.
Yeah.
So just a great job for him. And then maybe the most important award of all is the Community Relations and Service Awards. And there were several winners because of the amount of community service that the Niners do. So Aziz Al-Shair was one. Trent Sherfield was one. So you were talking about Sherfield, but the guy did a huge amount of community service work this year. Trey Lance did a huge amount of community service this year. Aaron Banks, Trey Lance and Aaron Banks got it for the rookie players. And George Kittle won the 49ers NFL Salute to Service Award for the first time in his career. And there was an alumnus award for the first time this year as well. And Dana McLemore, the old cornerback for those great late 80s, early 90s team, won that award. And our Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee is Eric Armstead. So there's your award winners from the Niners for this year. Congratulations to all of them. Everybody's very deserving. And it's nice to be able to share those awards. So, final thoughts, Gary.
Well, let's kind of look ahead a little bit.
Okay.
I don't think we're going to be able to keep everybody.
Okay.
So, who do you think we get rid of?
Jimmy's on the trading block. He already announced this morning that him and the Niners management are working on a trade destination for him. That was announced this morning on Bleacher Report. So Jimmy's gone. It'd be really nice to have another defensive back.
I think Norman's gone.
Oh, Norman's gone. A lot of these older guys are gone. I think Mostert is gone.
I'd like to see JV come back.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
If we could get he and Thomas together in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Mosley could be the nickel.
Nickelback, yeah. Oh, that'd be a
man.
really good backfield.
We got plenty of, and I'd like to see us keep our safeties. We may not be able to keep all of them.
Yeah, well, Ward and Tart are untouchable. And I think they're both signed. I don't think we have to worry about those guys right now.
I thought one of them
is signed.
This was the end of his contract.
Oh, well, we got to do something about that. The Niners have money, so the NFL raised the spending limit, the purse, and I think the Niners have something like $50 million that they can play with.
No,
I don't think they're in trouble financially.
Not like the Saints, who have 185% of their salary cap already spent,
and their lousy team. Yeah, crazy. It's crazy what some kind of teams will spend. And I think it just kind of gets away from them. They get this guy, then this guy, then this guy, then this guy, and they want to make sure they keep this guy. And pretty soon, you're in trouble. Bill Walsh always said, better to let somebody go early than to let somebody go late.
Yep.
And he's absolutely right. So I don't know. Who do you think's on their way out?
Well, I think Tomlinson is.
Really?
I think they've got plans for that position.
What kind of plans?
Well, they've got 2 rookies that could play it.
Yeah. He had a pretty good year.
Okay.
And he's up for a defensive award.
He didn't impress me all that much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Being a guard.
Yes, that's right.
With a different number.
Yeah.
I had Hufunga's number.
Okay. Okay.
I
like him.
Yeah, I want his jersey. That's on my jersey want list.
There you go.
That way I can wear my old high school number.
Who else do you have that is a standout or that's going to be heading out the door? Who do you think's heading out the door?
What was it, Colton?
Oh,
one of those two guys is going to be gone.
Yeah. I hope they re-sign Alec Mack. Alec Mack. He did a real good job this
year. And we need to draft a center.
Well, he is a center.
Yeah, so I know, but we need a young guy.
Yeah, backup guy
to bring along. We need while he's still got something left. We want a young guy to watch him.
I think we need to do what I agree. I think we need to do what the Dallas Cowboys did, right? I mean, 4 years in a row they drafted an offensive lineman first, and their offensive line was great. Look at the year Dak Prescott had. So yeah, I mean, I think we need to make the offensive line a huge.
I wanted a center this last draft.
Yeah. Well, we made the trade though, and we got Max, so that was good, And he talked a lot about the difference between Houston and the Niners.
Well, he had his ups and downs this year.
Yeah.
A lot more ups and downs.
Yeah. But I think the coaches are real happy with him.
Well, he's a hustle maniac.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't stop. He's got a high motive.
And we better keep Ebukam.
Yeah.
Or Ebubom, as I call him.
Yeah.
They're talk about another hustle guy. He never stops moving towards the quarterback. Even if he gets knocked down, he made a couple of sacks from his knees.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, there's guys I want to keep.
Yeah.
Well, as the off season goes on, we'll have more to say about that.
We will, and there'll be different things going on. I'm certain that we're going to see changes.
So our next podcast is going to be a Wayback Machine.
The Wayback, okay.
You want to do 47? You just take it year at a time?
Yeah, we've already got 46 out there, so we'll start with 47 and just kind of move through the season.
These are going to take a lot more research time than the games, because when we're doing a game, all of that information is real easy to find.
Right. And we watched it, right?
Yeah.
So, but I didn't watch any games in 1947.
No.
So, but we'll just pick one player piece, huh?
Yeah.
And talk about them a bit. So, and
we'll talk about the team,
Sure. Any changes that happen, anything that we see happen. We'll certainly do that. We'll get some special guests, which we've tried to do all season long. It just hasn't worked out, but we'll get that together. Get some people. We're going to have some folks that come on and talk to us about how they became 49er fans.
Yes. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, mine too. I think it's really interesting, especially with the Niner Empire of Vancouver, right?
Yes.
We want to know how those folks who live here in Vancouver, Washington, in Southwest Washington, Northern Portland, how did you become a 49er fan? I think we could get some real interesting stories out there about that. So there's more to come. There's more to come. Join the Fogies YouTube page. And
we're going to have fun. We hope you will too.
That's right. So Gary, take us out of here.
Okay. And you have to always remember that if you don't have a past, you still don't have a future.
That's right.
And we'll see you guys next time.
See y'all. Bye, faithful.